What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and it's no secret here that I love tarot, but I also love crystals, and I wanted to share this particular crystal with you today because it's one of the more magical crystals I've come across, and I just felt like I had to share it. So this is a natural citrine crystal from Africa. I believe it's from Zambia. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Zambians. And it's beautiful. It's a citrine point. It's fairly chunky. You know, it's got a nice size to it. It's got some great etching, and also little crystals growing out of it. So it's definitely a beautiful crystal. And you know, I used this crystal for, I would say, like maybe a year, maybe not that long actually. I don't know, almost a year. And I got it online about almost a year ago, I would say, and I just enjoyed it. I really loved it. I loved the energy that it gave off. But one day, I had somewhat of an epiphany about this crystal, and I realized just all of a sudden that this crystal is a teacher. It has something to teach us, and what it has to teach us is about the history of this earth. I know it seems like a grand topic, but let me show you what I mean, okay? So this crystal, to me, each of these faces shows a different epoch or era of the earth. Okay, and we're going to start with this face here. I hope you guys can see that. I'll get it in the light so you can see. In the beginning, and I got a little pointer here. This is my natural light pointer. In the beginning, there was nothing. Earth is empty, right? And it's just a blank slate, basically, for creation. Of course, there's, you know, animals and plants and that sort of thing, but pretty much the landscape is just flat and natural. And that's the start of things. Then we go to the next face here, and we see that if you read it left to right, that there's nothing. All of a sudden, a society springs up, and they build buildings. You can see here they're almost like skyscrapers. So it's the start of a civilization, and it seems to be flourishing because, you know, the skyscrapers get bigger and bigger and bigger. The cities get bigger, the towns get larger, and, you know, more and more people are a part of this society. You can see here. So it's, yeah, you can call it humanity if you want, or whatever culture this is. But then we go to the next one, the next side, and we see the skyscrapers in ruin. It's almost like more zoomed in. We see that the skyscrapers have fallen. We see big craters in the earth, and it seems as though society has fallen. And you know, it just looks like tumultuousness, right? Look, it's just like chaos here, as this society, for whatever reason, it could be any reason really, but it kind of crumbles, and we see that. Look, it's got big craters here. The skyscrapers are now fallen down to the ground, and it's just extreme chaos. You can see the tip here. Look at all the chaos that's happening here. It's like just a lot of tumultuity. I think I just invented that word. Tumultuity. Yes, tumultuousness, right? And society crumbles for whatever reason. So we go to the next face here, and we see that society is starting to decay. It's starting to wear down. Erosion is taking over, and the earth is kind of wiping the slate clean very slowly. You still see craters here from where maybe cities used to be. You see the skyscraper that has fallen is eroding now, and it's going back into the earth. Things are starting to smooth out. It's not as tumultuous. You see the tip here. Things are starting to smooth out in the tip as well. And the earth is returning to a state of normalcy almost. Well, at least, you know, before society sprang up. So yeah, we're going back to the way things were. We look at this side now. Now we see the earth is almost fully recuperated from society, and you know, there's still a huge crater here. There's still vestiges, remnants of the old society of civilization, but for the most part, earth is returning back to the natural state. We turn to the last face, and earth has returned to completely natural. And I say earth, this doesn't have to be earth. This is just about societies in general. And then we go to back to the last phase, or the first one, whichever way you want to look at it, and we have returned to a state of complete normalcy, complete nature. And the Earth or the planet is back to where it was until a new society springs up. And the whole process is begun again. So I really enjoyed this crystal because it tells us, it gives us a message that nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. You're not going to fight nature. So it's best to live in the moment and appreciate everything that you have. When we find ourselves living in the future a lot and worried about what the future will bring. And I can tell you without any reservations that nothing is going to be permanent. So, you're striving to make a lot of money or to buy that house. All things fade away sooner or later. And it's important, rather than live in the future and just stress over it, it's important to live in the moment and appreciate all that you have now. Because one day it'll all be gone, and we won't get it back until the next cycle begins. So I found this crystal to be very informative and eye-opening and enlightening. And I feel like that's the role of crystals in our lives as human beings, is to send us a message. And this crystal just happened to have its message in the faces. Usually they carry a message energetically, but this crystal's message was in the crystal. So I really, really wanted to share that with you guys, because I think that's a message that we can all take heed of, is that it's all returning to dust eventually. So enjoy it while it's here. Don't worry about the future, and just think about the present moment and make it the best present moment that you possibly can, because these cities are going to crumble. The remnants of the ruins are going to fade to dust, and it's going to return back to normal. And it's just cycles. It's cycles. That's all it is. It just tells us about the cycles of civilizations, of planets, and this is kind of true probably in all places of the universe. Nothing is permanent. Everything returns back to the beginning, and a new cycle will start again. So that's another message. If you're in the middle of a cycle that you don't like, realize that this cycle will end and a new cycle will begin, and you have a new opportunity for growth and for movement. So nothing is permanent. If you're in a bad situation now, realize that it will change. If you're in a good situation now, then realize that it's not going to last, and appreciate it as much as you possibly can. So that is my magical citrine crystal with its magical message of healing. I encourage you guys to look at your crystals and see them in a different way. They all bring messages to us in a variety of ways, so you can't get caught into thinking it's going to come in a specific way. So thank you, Citrine from Zambia. I love you so much, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Put your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this citrine, what you think about this message or this story. And yeah, cool. All right, leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy crystalling. Peace.